Let's go over the urea test tubes. So this is what they'll look like. The one on the left is negative, the one on the right is positive. These test tubes have your friend phenol red in them as an indicator. What we're checking to see is if your bacteria has an enzyme called urease. If it does, it'll use up the urea that's in the media to create ammonia as a byproduct. So our substrate here is the urea that's in the test. And this test could be called the urea test or the urease test. It doesn't really matter which one, so I'll call it urease so we don't get confused here. Okay, so urea is the substrate. The enzyme that we're checking for is urease. If your bacteria has the enzyme urease, it'll break up the urea and create ammonia. Okay, the indicator that lets us know that this ammonia is present, or in this case, the test tube on the right, the little kind of magenta pink color is there, is phenol red. And if you remember, phenol red is a pH indicator. Now, we are looking for an alkaline byproduct here. Ammonia is alkaline. So our positive color is that pink color that we're looking for because we're looking for an alkaline byproduct. This is different than the Durham tube tests. If you remember the Durham tube test, we were looking for organic acids as a byproduct. And if you think about it, phenol red indicates acid at what color? Yellow. But it indicates alkaline at what color? Magenta. So in this case, because we're looking for an alkaline byproduct here, it's going to show us that pink color that we're looking for because phenol red is in the media. A little bit of information about this urea test tube. I have to hand make all of these test tubes and hand put them in each test tube. The autoclave will break up the urea. There's basically just urea in that test tube. And if I put it in the autoclave, the heat of the autoclave will break up the urea and create ammonia. So I can't autoclave them. I have to filter sterilize the media, and then I have to individually sterilely put it into each test tube. So it can take quite some time for me to make this media. Just a little bit of information there about it. Also, one last thing that I want to talk to you about, at least in this segment, is to make sure that you open up this handout. The inside of this handout has really, really good information about all of the tests that you've performed here. And in some cases for the quiz, I may even get some information from in here, but really it just kind of helps you remember why we did those tests, and it helps you walk through the chemistry in those tests as well.